Well, hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to my stream, and another chapter of The Tank That Won't End. This guy right there, that's the M2A3 Bradley by Meng. I'll run the intro, we'll get going. Okay guys, we're back, and we're going to continue on the build, and I'll do a quick little recap what we did last time, which was, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not much. It seems like each one of these episodes just get a little bit done and that's it. Because each little part takes like an hour to do. Last time, basically, we got the back door installed, and that's it. And she does move up and down. She does hook onto these two little things to like really secure it closed. I actually had to trim off a little bit of the hooks because it was hooking on too strongly. And even now I just push it on. It's really a strong thing. I want to show you a little detail that I did not really look into when I was putting it on last time. Let me change the camera, I'll show you here. One little detail that didn't do is way back in one of our first steps in building the interior, we put this little guy in here and we didn't glue him in. Well, he attaches to the door on that little hook, and he slides in and out as you open and close the door. That slides in and out. Now obviously my door is no longer brown, and I got the correct side painted. I put primer on this side, and I have this side done, and I did a whole bunch of weathering on it. I figure, you know what, guys go in and out of this thing all the time, it's not going to look all perfect. So I did a little bit of some brown stains and some metallic silver on there to show like paint's rubbing through and everything like that. Some black panel liner, and yeah, so there we go. That is that. Okay, so with that done, let's put him back just like that. What we're going to do, the next step, I might as well take this off of here. The next step, since we're kind of done with the top, just trying to see, making sure my little my pegs that are sticking up here, I want to just, you know, after a while, I always look at them and go, oh, that broke off some time ago and I never even noticed. And so I just want to make sure they are still there, and they are, so that's good. So, with that being done, the door being installed in step 35, they want us to put the wheels and the tracks on, but I'm not there yet. We're not doing that yet. Wheels and tracks are kind of like the last possible thing for me, except in a case where your side skirts might hinder your ability to put the wheels on. That would be an exception to that rule. So, but in this case, because I'm going to be leaving the top removable, even though I put the skirts on, it's going to depend. Once we get to the skirts, that's going to really depend. I might have to come back to the wheels if for some reason the skirts need to go onto the lower half and I won't be able to install the wheels. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That would, then I'd have to come back to this step and actually perform that part. But we got a couple of steps here, a couple of things in step 36 to put on the underneath. So let's take a look at those and see what we got to do. Okay. So we have in step 36, we got a couple of fenders to put on, and whatever the heck the J23s are underneath there. So let's find those sprues and get that off there. So we need D, we need our D. Oh, I love grabbing my D. And we need J23. There's our two J trees, and grab my D. My D was deep in the box. Yeah, it was. Okay, so we need D11 and D6. Well, D10 and 11 and D6 and 7. So these two and these two. Let me move my tank out of the way here for a moment. just so I can access these parts and put them down. And that's it. That's it for the D sprue. I won't be grabbing my D anymore. That's it. And then we need J23 times 2. It's 33s, there's a 30s, 23, this guy here, this little rectangular guy with a nub on him. And this guy doesn't have a nub on him. That's weird. Weird indeed. Okay, I'll get these parts cleaned up and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so our parts are cleaned up and so we're going to put them on. Going to need some glue prepared here. So our J23s, they go on the bottom here and they go out on there with the little holes facing the back. They kind of go into those little slots, but they don't fit very flush. They kind of hang off the back like that. A little bit of a push, make sure it's on there. Okay. Just making sure they're straight here. There we go. Okay, so there's our two J23s. And now we've got to get D11, which are or D10 and 11, which are these guys. And they're going to go into this little, looks like there's a little notch right here at the back. Right there. And I don't know if the camera will really catch it. Get it in the right light, you can see that little notch right there. Okay, and there's one on this side too. Right in here. Okay, so we just line those up. That should be fairly straightforward. And put our fenders on. Just like that. It doesn't really sit flush. It's kind of got a bit of a step because it's thick, but it shouldn't be too bad. Let's put a little glue down in there. And convince it to stick a little bit. There we go. And a little more just to make sure. Pressed in nice and flat. There we go. Fender number 1 is installed. I don't really anticipate any problems with this one, but we'll just do a test fit just to make sure. Yeah, she fits good. See the notch on this one is got that little square knot knocked out of it, so you don't get your lefts and rights mixed up. A little glue on there. And before it's drying. And there's fender number 2. So we move to the front. This is the ones that might pose a little bit of a problem, as we're supposed to go like this, and these have this little side there, and that might prevent me from putting on our front drive wheel sprocket thing. So let me grab one of my wheels. Where did my wheels go? Did I put them in our little box? No, that's my chain. Where are my wheels? Where did I put my wheels? All my wheels are missing and I don't know where they are. Like seriously, where are my wheels? I normally have them all in a little thing here. I know where they are, back here. Let's grab a drive sprocket. Drive sprocket right here. This guy's got to go on here. Like that. But what if the fender's on? If this fender is sitting here, in theory, let's just do this. Can I? I want to clamp it down, but I can't. So I'll just hold it here, and with my other hand, can I get this wheel on? No. I would literally have to flex this out in order to get the wheel on. This might make it easier for me to pretend it's on there. This way I can hold it with my hand out of the way. If this is on here like this, yeah, it's going to be tough. That's there. It's going to be, it would be such a tight fit. I'm going to try taping the fender down. I don't want to glue it down yet because I want to, if it's just going to be a matter of a tiny little bit of a flex, then I'm not going to worry about it and I'll glue it down. But if it's actually going to cause a problem, then I'll have to leave the fenders off, which sucks because I want to paint this thing as one unit, but without the wheels on at the same time. It's hard to get this in there for some reason. Get this lined up exactly, because this edge wants to hit in here on our drive unit. Like that. Put our tape down. Okay, so our fender's glued in, or taped in. And as you see, it hits right in there. Right in there. It touches on the side of the drive unit. Unless I got it backwards, but I don't think I got it backwards. No, definitely don't have it backwards. That's the side it goes on. And same with this guy. It goes right there like this. But he hits the drive unit just right on this little edge here, right up in here, and makes it so it's not flush. Now that could very well be from me, you know, the way I installed it before, but this one's just a little bit crooked. I need that, this edge, just carved out, just a little hair. Like that. And that ought to do it. and allow me to get this in there. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Still not perfect. Still need more. It's a little bit difficult, especially I'm left-handed, so I have to hold it with my left hand, with my right hand. Ah, there we go, that's better. Now she's not touching. Good. Now, back to the whole wheel thing. This guy put in here, and seemingly in his right spot. It's hard to tell now with the tape if he's actually in a spot, but can I put the wheel in? I mean, if I kind of hold this and then kind of flex it just a bit, yes, the wheel goes in. I think I'm safe enough to put the fenders on, at least for the drive sprocket. At least for the drive sprocket anyway. I think I'm safe enough, but I'm going to do the same little trim on this guy, on this little spot right there, and just kind of carve it a little round and put it in there. There, he sits flush now. He's going to sit straight. Okay. A bit of ejector pin kind of possibly sticking up here. Don't want ejector pins interfering with my track assembly. This side's fine. Okay, let's put a little glue in here. Because we're committing to these going in. Press down a little bit there. Glue in there. Glue on this edge where it's touching. And why not a little bit up top here too. Alright. There's fender number 1 put in on the front, or front fender number 1. Okay. Move over to this side. Having already trimmed what I need to on this side, so fender number 2 should be fine for a little glue. And placement. A little bit of pressure on them. Press them down. Right, a little extra. Looking up here, it doesn't look like it's straight. That line is a little crooked, but yet he's perfectly straight under here on this little guideline. So I'm not really going to worry about the fact it looks crooked here. In fact, if I take this, she's straight. She's straight across. So I'm not worried about this little gap here. I'm not worried about it. Okay, there's our fenders. That's going to finish step 36. Now, hopefully I'm not shooting myself in the foot later on by putting those on first. Let's flip our page and see what we got going on. Step 37. Oh, we're assembling our home speakers, aka air conditioner units. Let's move my Warhammer guy out of the way here. Air conditioning units. That's what we're doing today, so we're going to need some stuff. So we need some stuff over the R tree, the Q, and the J, and the T. Okay, let's start with all of those. J, E or B, C or H. There's R. Do I need P? Nope. Q. Okay. Lots of parts here. Okay, so R2, 6, and 18. Let's start with those. And 1. 1, 2, 6, and 18. R. So number 1, we got 2 of them. 2 number 2s. So we'll start with 1. I'll build 1. I'll do the second one off camera. You guys don't need to watch me build it twice. Number 2. Number 6. 6 and 7, I guess that's lefts and rights. It looks like the only difference is where our pegs are. So we'll get number 6 here. Number 18. Okay, is that it? R1. That's it for the R's. Okay. I need Q. Q15 and Q4. So here's Q4. Triangle. And we need 15. This little square block here. This guy here. And that's it for the Q. And then we need J11. J11 right here. Looks like a light. It's probably our tail light. Yeah, it's definitely tail light assembly. And we need T2, which is clear, and we're supposed to do clear red on it. Where's my T? I got UUT. T2. Right here, one of these guys. We've got a bunch of 2s. But I'm just going to leave this on the sprue for now, and I'm actually going to paint it clear red right now, and so the paint will be dry by the time we actually get to it. So let me grab my clear red. If I can find it here. There it is. X27 clear red. Let's mix this up real quick. And put a little drop of clear on this. Which side? We want the flat side, I imagine. Is there a different side? There's going to be a side that's textured and a side that's not. I'm not sure which way it goes. It looks like the flat side goes in, so that's the side I'm going to paint. There we go. I'll do 2 of them since I'm going to be doing 2 sides. There we go. Okay, 2 little red lenses. We'll let that dry. Alrighty, I will clean up these parts and we'll come back when I'm all done. Okay, so our parts are cleaned up, so let's get to putting these things together. First, we'll take our R6. Now we want to have this in the same orientation, so we want to have our peg on the top. And we're going to take our R18 and it's going to go in on this side here. Like so. So I'm going to see if I'm going to try and glue it all from the behind here. Corners for a second here and let the glue do its thing. And we're going to take R2. Now, R2, I'm not sure exactly. It looks like with R2, you've got this little channel right here along this edge. Okay, if the camera will focus, please. Okay, see that little channel along that long edge there? That's going to go to the open side. The open side, this side here. Okay? Like so. It's not the best fit, but it's not bad. Just kind of hold the edges in, hold our corners, and that should line it up pretty good. This is the final piece that will go on the front. It doesn't look like there's any up or down, left or right. It looks pretty symmetrical. Just get it flush in there, and I think that's all you need to do. Just make sure it's all together and tight. There's a couple of spots I got a gap here, and I can give it a little bit of pressure. I could probably convince it to stay. A little more glue on that edge there. Just hold on to it for a second. Hold that for a sec. Just wait. Have a sip of coffee while I'm holding it. Why not? And let's do the same treatment on these two edges here. Just right at the corners, it wants to come apart a little bit. So on these corners, the plastic gets pretty thin as it comes to a point, because they're chamfered on the insides, like, you know, to make a nice fine point. But We got a couple of pieces of photo etch to go on here. 2 little round circle things to cover the fans, and then a grill right over the top, all of them. We'll do that once this is all done. Okay, so we've got this guy. Now we have our little taillight assembly bucket thing. It's going to go in with the small point facing the open bottom. It's going to go deep inside there. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get it in there. So let's just go with some glue in there, and then grab my tweezers. How am I going to grab this without it flinging somewhere? Let's try this. There we go. And that's our little tail light into its little protective box. And that is going to go up on top into that little channel. So this little notch, let's see, which notch? Do they want it into this notch or this notch? I imagine it's going to go flush against that, like that. So it's probably... if I do the rear notch, it's actually too wide for this rear notch, so it's got to go inside. It goes on, it goes in right there. That's where you're putting the tab, not on the outside here, but on this side. Okay, just like so. And it has actually got a little bit of a notch there for it to hang off the side. But what I have is a little bit of a parting line right there that makes it not really want to sit flat. So see if I can get rid of that parting line a little bit there. That looks better. Glue, glue. And glue on this edge too. Okay. So there's the assembly like that for one side. Okay. Now obviously I need to do another one, but we're not done yet. We got Q4 with the tab on that. It's going to go up here. Go like this. Of course, he's going to be a tight fit, so let's put some glue in there and some glue on the tab. And give that a sec to soften it up, and that should push it. There we go. It's a little bit tight of a fit, but a little bit of glue softens up the plastic and allows it to slide in. And we'll just add some more glue on the edge, and that should do it. Just one final little press to make sure. So then we have that. Q4 is in. So then we're going to we can go move on. I want to skip right now down to the bottom here. We got E32 and 33 are panels that are going to go in the back of the hull. Let me just grab those. (32) and 33 are these guys. Just grab these off of here. So here's 32, and then 33. Should be fairly easy to clean the nubs on these. Looks like a little flashing going on here. A lot of flashing on this one. That's one thing I have to say, I never really see in Tamiya kits, or at least it's extremely rare in a Tamiya kit to find flash. Okay, so that's these two. They're going to go on the back of the hull here. I just want to get these put on before we work on the photo edge. And it's pretty simple to see which side goes on which here, because they're only going to go in one direction. They're only going to fit one way, and it fits in pretty tight too, just like that. Okay, so I'll put a little glue on there and there and there, there and there and there. Yep, that's right. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go there, there, and there. And put him on. Just like that. Fits nice and flush. A little glue on some edges. Kind of acts to reinforce the wall a little bit too. And we'll do the same with this one. Put him in. Okay. So those are on, and I'm happy with that. Okay, there's our two big wall thicker uppers. Okay, and let that dry, and we'll deal with photo edge. Okay, so photo edge, I'm going to grab my Y and my, just the Y. Y because I said so, that's why. That's X, this is W, where's my Y? Y's still in the bag. This guy here. There's our Y. Okay, so little fan guards and grills. I'm going to get this out of the way here so I can deal with these. Okay, now one thing that I will say, you've seen me use these already a few times, and one thing that I find sometimes when this is cutting, it kind of bends the photo edge a little bit, and I don't like that. I don't like it being bent. So I'm going to get a piece of glass. I just grabbed this piece of glass like out of an old picture frame that literally had no picture in it. And so here's just a piece of glass, because if you do it on your cutting mat, you're going to bend it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use our X-Acto knife, and we're going to cut through our photo edge. Very nice. This photo edge is beautiful. It's very thin, and so it cuts very easily. Just drag my knife through a couple of times until it's actually through. Hold on to the photo edge so it doesn't bend. Just keep going through until you finally cut through, and there you go. And now we've got one fan grill done. It's not really done, so we still got work to do. You'll see what I mean. We still have to clean up this. Even though I'm cutting very close to it, there's still going to be a little bit of a nub there that needs to be cleaned off. And I also need one big grill here. I do have my knife kind of angled towards the part as I drag the blade through. To try and minimize the amount of nub that's left on it. But inevitably you get a nub on there. Okay. So there's our parts. Let's put this over here. Now we've got to clean these up. I wish I had my other tweezers. I'm going to buy another pair of tweezers today. I tell you what I'm going to do is buy another pair of tweezers. I need a pair of tweezers that have a flat edge. So what I do is I take my tweezers and I put it right underneath where the nub is. Now this actually came off really clean. There's one on this side here. I put it very close to the edge there, and I take my file going with the direction of of the piece, not across. You go across, all you're going to do is bend it. So I go with it very lightly until it starts to feel smooth. Like that, starting to feel smooth. I put my finger on there. Can I feel the nub? No, it's gone. The nub is gone. And that's all I do. The same thing on this side. A little bit of back and forth. That's perfect. That's perfect. Good. This one's done. Let's grab these pieces. Sometimes photo etch is a little tricky to pick up, which is why I kind of left that out. But this one's not going to help me. Okay. Let's feel our nubs. Oh, we got one right there. So I go not quite to the edge, but very close. So I want to hold on to it nice and tight. And that's why I want a good pair of tweezers that really grip. And I want my flat edge ones. See, these are, as I press down, as I squeeze, these are holding it further down, but I need to hold on that tip. Here we go. Anywhere else? Just feel with my finger, because sometimes the nub is so small it's hard to see. I can feel one right here. There we go. And that's it. This one's done. Okay? Now I'm going to put them on the edge, just so it's easier to pick up. This guy. The nubs actually came off pretty clean on these. You can feel this one a little bit here. Didn't take much to clean that off at all. Okay. So there's our fan guards. Now I need CA glue. So let me get my CA out here. This still, yep. You know, it's funny, this stuff, this Flexi 5K that I've got here, this, I've labeled it thin because this is they make one that's thick also, but this is also about a year old, and so it's thickened up. So this is like thick stuff, it's like a gap filler now. And as such, it actually gives me a minute to work with it before it dries. Now, before I commit to this, I want to do a test fit to see exactly how this fits in here. It looks like it actually fits down. There's a little bit of a tiny little lip all the way around the fan that we're supposed to try and put the grill on. These ready. I actually want to bring this guy over too, because it's hard to pick this up. There we go. Okay, let's get some glue onto this piece. It's going to be a little hard to see in here in this area. So if I happen to get a bunch of glue in spots that I don't want, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Press that down on there. There we go. There's one. Now something I might regret later is not painting the fan blades first. If when it's all said and done, you can see my beige fan blade in there. That's just gonna ruin the immersion, you know. You can see what I mean. Like, it gives me a moment to adjust the pieces before the glue cures or hardens up on me. It's one thing I like about photo etch. You can actually do some realistic little dents and things in the grills so they look realistic. There we go. So we got our two fan grills in. Now our big grill goes over top like this. It doesn't look like it's sitting in any channel. We just need to line it up like that. And have it centered. So I'll put some glue along the edges. I think what I'm going to do is spray some black primer over this thing before I paint it. Here we go. Now I want the glue to cure, so this is one of those rare moments where I am actually going to spray this with the accelerator and get it all over my thumb. And that is one air conditioning unit assembled, minus the red light lens. Okay, and that's that. So I want to spray black primer on the inside of there to get that, because that's going to be realistic. It shouldn't look brass and beige on the inside of that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's one. So I have the other one to do, but I'm going to do that off camera. With that being done, we can put this on our hull, because we have assembled our right rear. That's what's assembled here. And so that's going to go on. And according to the instructions, it's going to go onto this side, and it's going to line up two holes like that, just like that. Just like that. And that's why we've got this big angle here. Why we have two holes up here, I don't know. It's almost like there's something else that it's going to attach to. But I don't know. Because if I put the top on, there's nothing, it's going to sit up like this. Right? So, what's it actually touching? I don't know. Let's put this on temporarily here. Like so. And this will sit up here. Yeah, it's not touching the actual hull, it just sits back. So I don't know, is there something else that's going to attach there? We do have a couple of pinholes, like there is going to be some stuff, but I think those are for tools. So I don't know. Anyway, that's that. So let me get my CA glue, because we're done with the CA glue. I don't like to leave it all in a big puddle, because it takes too long to dry that way. So I like to soak it up with Q-tips. and chuck them away. Yes, okay. So, let's look at what kind of time I got. I got no time. I got no time. So, I need to assemble the left side and get that done. I'll do that off camera. If we flip over, we're going to start on the armor side, the side skirts. I've already taken off a couple of things because I was just seeing where these guys line up on the hull and how they go on. And so this guy is going to go on this side, and they line up. We got notches here. You can see I've drawn lines on the bottom so I can tell where they line up. So it's going to go on like this on the sides. If I get it lined up properly. There's one. There we go. That's how it's going to go on the sides. Okay. And with that like that, it's not going to hinder me putting the wheels on, which is good. This one might, but it's sticking out. It's actually further out than our front fenders, so that's even better that it's like that. So that's not going to hinder me. The one thing I am concerned about is, what do I do as far as attachment? Because I want to have the top hull removable. And the way they would have you do it is this is glued down nice and solid, and then you just glue it right along here to both the upper and lower. If I glue it to the upper, it'll only be glued to this little edge here, and that's it. It'll only be glued to this edge if I glue it to the upper. And that's the dilemma I'm kind of having. If I glue it to the upper, then it's going to be like this. When that makes great, it makes it nice and easy to line up like this. But that's the only edge that it's going to be held on by. And that's asking quite a bit, especially when you go to put it back down. You know what I mean? Like, that's a bit to line up. So then the other option is to glue it to the lower hull, which means I got a little bit of a challenge to line it up, but it'll be on there. That means it'll be here and it will stay. But now the challenge is when you put the upper hull back down on it, when you put the upper hull down, you see there's that little bit of a channel that it's going to have to fit into every time. So this is the kind of thing I'm really debating on which to do. If I put it to the upper, when you move the upper, you'll be able to see all the wheels. That'll be kind of cool as far as just looking at things, right? That will be kind of cool that you can look at the wheels. So yeah, I haven't really decided. Up until just right now, I had decided it's going on the lower. But now as I think about it, as far as alignment and stuff and getting things to line up, maybe the upper is the better option. In any case, assembling the parts for our skirts is going to be what we do next time. And maybe it doesn't look like there's quite a few parts to these things, but that's okay. And then maybe we'll get some additional armor modules and we'll get on those. But that's where we're gonna have to leave it for today, guys, as I have run out of time. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this, it seems like I get one little thing done in an hour and that's it. And that's been the par for the course with this kit. One little thing takes a long time to assemble. Very simple thing, Like, we did nothing. I put fenders on and I built a box. And I did that in an hour. And yeah. Like I said, that seems to be the way this kit goes. It's so many small little parts to assemble that in other kits they just kind of mold as one for you and don't have so many pieces. But that adds to the detail too. Like, it looks better because there's more detail to it. So yeah, it's up to you. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me on this long journey. And yes, check out the description box below for some links. And hit the like button and subscribe, please, if you haven't already. It would really help out my channel and make it grow. I would really love that. And we'll see you all in the next one.